I want to be in old New Hampshire. I want to go.
Hello, this is Robert Cameron Weir. I'm the chairman of the Publications Committee of the New Hampshire Society of Genealogists, and I'm here to briefly talk to you a little bit about county boundaries, especially in the context of an article in the recent issue of the New Hampshire Genealogical Record. Two distinct New Hampshire Revolutionary War soldiers were named Jebediah Danforth. One was of Canterbury and the other of adjacent Boscawen, an article by George Varney. And one thing to notice is right at the beginning of the article, there's kind of a little debate there of whether there was one man of this name or two of them. And it looks like one of them was centered in Canterbury, in Rockingham County at the time, and another in Boscawen, which was in Hillsborough County at the time, but now both are in Merrimack County due to shifting county boundaries. And this is kind of a perennial issue in genealogy to be aware of, shifting town boundaries and county boundaries. And it's especially important because not all records of genealogical interest are at the state level or at the town level. Some are intrinsically tied to the county. You probably have done research in probate and land records, for example. Those are inherently in New England, at least most parts of New England, definitely in New Hampshire, are tied to the county. Other ones, that you might come across would be towards the second half of the 19th century would be some almshouse, poorhouse, county farm records for the poor were at the county level. So definitely knowing which county a given ancestor was in a given year is important for finding those types of records. And I want to point out two resources that I commonly use to track this down and to make sure I'm looking in the right place. First resource I'd like to draw your attention to is the Atlas of Historical County Boundaries at the Newberry Library. And the URL here I'll put in the description of the video, but it's digital.newberry.org. Or if you just search for Atlas of Historical County Boundaries, you'll surely find it. It's nationwide. I happen here just to click on the New Hampshire one, and it shows the boundaries as they changed, from year to year. So we had back in the province of New Hampshire, initially we did not have counties. It was all one big jurisdiction for probate and land records. Counties were created 1769, 1770. Then over time, larger counties were broken into smaller counties. And let's just take a look, for example, at the two towns we're looking at here, Canterbury and Boscawen. So let's zoom in. Let's test my knowledge of geography here. They're on either side of the Merrimack River. Here they are. Merrimack River was a natural boundary for the initial counties. So here we're in this one big jurisdiction, no counties. Then we create the counties. And then one half, as we see here, on the west side, Hillsborough County, and then to the east of the Merrimack, Rockingham County. So Canterbury's in Rockingham, Boscawen's in Hillsborough. And as we go through each of these time periods, there's changes in other parts of New Hampshire, none right here, but then we'll see here August 1st, 1823. If we zoom out and kind of go back and forth, we see there's Hillsborough and Rockingham, and then in 1823, Merrimack County is created out of that. They kind of decided to ignore the Merrimack River and put this all into one big central county. Also here on the Newberry Library site, they have what they call individual county chronologies. And this is kind of interesting because it kind of shows through for a given county, change by change, not only when it changed and what changed, but what the legal authority was for changing it, which could be an interesting research if you need to more finely look up the details. So we see Hillsborough lost to the creation of Merrimack, and you would look up in New Hampshire Early Laws, Volume 9, Chapter 38, section, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a good resource for understanding the individual details. So another resource I use is a commercial software package called AnyMap. AnyMap Plus County Boundary Historical Atlas version 3.02. which you can find more information on it at www.goldbug.com. With this one, you choose which state you're interested in looking at. In this case, I'll take a look at New Hampshire. And you go in and you say Site Find. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to search the map for a given place. It has a complete database of locations, not only of current towns and cities, but also historic names, villages, in some cases out west, ghost towns that no longer are populated. So it makes it a little bit easier to find a place if you just know the historical names. But in this case, it's relatively easy. We're going to look up, let's see, Canterbury. Right there, and double click on that, and Boscawen. Right there. Now I can tell them about plotted on the map. So Boscawen on the west and Canterbury on the east. I'll just draw these labels over, make it a little bit clear which one we're looking at. And now I can animate the county boundary changes over time. You'll see as we go through these county changes that some of these things are referring to New York, Albany County, Gloucester County. This application treats New Hampshire and Vermont, including the colonial disputed areas that were disputed between New York and New Hampshire, treats them together so you can see some of those more interesting boundary changes along the Connecticut River. But we see here Canterbury and Boscawen, Hillsborough, Rockingham County until 1823. And we'll see the creation of Merrimack County then. And it goes all the way, let's see when the last county change in New Hampshire was, 1895. Yeah, actually that's in Vermont, Windsor and Rutland County. Last boundary change for counties in New Hampshire, 1874, Merrimack gained from Grafton. Just that little bit back and forth, interesting. Well, that's it. 2 tools, one a free one up at the Newberry Library that you can use for finding county boundary changes, not just in New Hampshire, but nationwide. And then if you want to pay a little bit, the software Animap helps you animate it and also plots town names on the maps for you. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks.